With the Vikings front office wrapping up the last of its coaching changes, it's now time to focus on the roster changes. Let's get it. All right, so we have to put our GM hats on. We have a lot of issues going on with this year's cap. We are $16 million over the cap right now, and we have quite a few prominent players that need to have their contracts adjusted, if you will. Starting with the big elephant in the room, Kirk Cousins. He's a $45 million cap number, fully guaranteed. Well, not fully guaranteed. The $35 million guaranteed, and then we have a prorated bonus of $10 million. If we were to cut him, of course, would not save anything as it's all fully guaranteed. If we were to trade him, we would save $35 million and have a cap hit or dead money hit of $10 million. That right there would get us underneath the cap. Now, is that something that Kwesi wants to do? That's obviously the big question right now. Does Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell want to trade Kirk Cousins? If they can, then what are we going to get for him? I mean, minimum, I would suggest a first and third round pick, considering the fact that the Colts traded a first and third round pick for Carson Wentz. Now, granted, of course, it was a second and a third. The second turned into a first due to playing time. But there is no question that Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback than Carson Wentz. So, at minimum, Kirk needs to be traded for a first-round pick. Now, with his $45 million cap hit, that could be an issue when it comes to the trades. With the $45 million being an issue during the trades, we can still take on more than just the $10 million that Kirk is currently going to hit us with the dead money in order to get that trade taken care of. So, would you be willing to take a dead money of $20 million versus the $10 million? Yeah, I would, to get rid of Kirk Cousins. Yes, what are we going to do at quarterback? Kevin O'Connell's going to have to figure that out. Trading Kirk Cousins, that's probably the best option. Now, who are the trade partners? That's a subject for another time, but just for time's sake, what we're going to do is we're going to trade him to the Browns. The Browns want to get rid of Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is a younger quarterback. He's going to have a $20 million cap hit. So what we're going to do as GM of the Vikings, we're going to trade Kirk Cousins for Baker Mayfield and a first-round pick, of course. So Baker Mayfield's cap number is $18 million. So we're going to keep that, and it's fully guaranteed, so we're going to keep the Baker Mayfield contract. We're then going to trade Kirk Cousins and save the $35 million. And a first-round pick. Hopefully the Browns be interested in Kirk Cousins with Kevin Stefanski over there, but who knows? So right now, with just trading Kirk Cousins for Baker Mayfield and a first-round pick, we're already in positive cap space. But there's quite a bit more. Considering the fact that we need $8 million to sign our draft picks, plus do anything in free agency, we're going to need to save a lot more money. Next up on the list is Danielle Hunter. If you cut Danielle, you could save $14 million straight up. That's a terrible idea because when Danielle Hunter's healthy, he's one of the best pass rushers in the league. And with us switching to a 3-4, he might actually be even better. He could be worse, but he might be interested in that 3-4 scheme. It's something new. It's going to have like a fresh feeling. So maybe Danielle wants to stick around. Maybe Danielle wants to be traded. So either way, that's obviously going to be a conversation between Kwesi and Kevin and Danielle himself. So, because we're GM, what we're going to do is we're going to re-sign or extend Danielle Hunter. Now, Danielle, in my opinion, he should be a $20 million cap hit. So, because top pass rushers in the league right now, I mean, you got $31 million for TJ Watt, you have $30 million for Khalil Mack. I mean, Danielle Hunter with the $26 million is like the 2, 4, 6, 7th highest paid or highest cap hit for defensive ends. So what's a decent pay rate? Well, he's better than Leonard Floyd. He's $20 million for Leonard Floyd. He could readjust that. I feel that he's better than Cameron Jordan. Cameron Jordan's cap hit right now is $23 million. So I say Danielle Hunter, let's get you down to $20 million this year and get you some guaranteed money, and we should be able to work out a deal for sure. So Danielle Hunter, we're going to re-sign for $20 million a year. This is just going to this is just to get the contract under control. So if we can get Danielle Hunter for $20 million a year, or $20 million and then an annual increase, like most players should, then that would be awesome. So we are going to get Danielle signed. Now, with that signing, we saved another $6 million in the cap. So right now we're sitting pretty at $6 million under the cap, but we still have so much more to go. Adam Thielen's contract is a little rough. He's a 32-year-old wide receiver. If we straight up cut him, we'd save $5 million, almost $6 million against the cap. He's holding a cap hit right now of $16 million. You know, with a 32-year-old aging receiver, I'm going to do something crazy. Don't hate me, Minnesota fans, but we aren't going to be able to get anything worth a damn for Adam Thielen, so we're going to post June 1st cut Adam Thielen. And it's going to save us if we were to post June 1st cut him, it'd save us $12 million against the cap. It's going to be a little rough to trade him, I think. I mean, some team could give us somewhere between a 4th and a 7th round pick for a 32-year-old receiver. He's had some injury issues the last couple of years as well, but when healthy, he's possibly the best number 2 in the league. I do want to keep Adam Thielen, but I was looking at extending him and restructuring him, and it's just, as of right now, his current contract, and the options that I have with over the cap, it just seems like it's pretty dang hard to get Adam on a decent contract. So let's go with, just for the video's sake, we're going to post June 1st, cut Adam Thielen. Oh, it hurts just pressing that button. Oh. But cap space now, we've saved $12 million against the cap this year. With a $4 million dead money with cutting Adam Thielen. Now we have $19 million. 2023, Adam Thielen's cap hit, dead money is going to be $6 million due to when you post June 1st, it's going to be distributed between 2 years. So let's move on to Eric Kendricks. Eric Kendricks is 30 years old. His current cap hit's $13 million. That's pretty high for a middle linebacker. I don't want to cut Kendricks. Our defense is already depleted. We need every playmaker we can possibly get on the defense. So I'm gonna want to let's see if we can extend Eric Kendricks. He's got 2 years right now. We can add another year. Let's see if we add maybe 33. If we can get his cap number down to $6 million. Base salary, $10 million this year. Let's go $8 million next year, and another, I don't know, 11 million. 11 million that year, and then of course, let's get some guaranteed salary going. So renegotiate that. All right, so if we can get Eric Kendricks down to $10 million, boom, re-signed. Harrison Smith, $13 million cap hit, one of the higher paid safeties in the league. As a matter of fact, he is, as of right now, with that $13 million cap hit, you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th highest cap hit right now. Kevin O'Connell was saying that he is extremely important to this defense. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to extend Harrison Smith. Let's see if we can extend Harrison. So right now he's got 4 years. 4 years and an extension. That's probably not going to work. So what can we do? If we can do, let's see. Let's add a void year in. 2 void years? $10 million. Let's get this down to $1.9 million. And what is that one? That's 2, 4, 6. So if we get him closer to $10 million a year, so $4 million. And then $7 million, $7 million, $7 million, void year, $2 million. Oh, it looks like we're going to have to do one void year. Oh, yeah, because you can only do 5, total of 5 years, so that's the reason why it doesn't work out. The contract can only be for 5 years total if you have void years in there, so, or at least according to, I think it was PFF. All right, so with that, we can drop Harrison Smith's number down to $9 million, renegotiate that. Boom, we got $26 million in cap space. We have Baker Mayfield. We did the terrible thing of cutting Adam Thielen. Here's the next issue right now, Dalvin Cook. You're looking at $12 million for Dalvin Cook. Now, I'm thinking that Kevin O'Connell, you know, from the systems that he's run, he doesn't need a top-tier running back. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, you know, you're going to trade Dalvin Cook. You know, that might be the case. You know, Dalvin hasn't had a full season where he's been completely healthy for all the games. $12 million for Dalvin Cook is the old regime's contract structure, the old regime's way of thinking when it came to top players. Dalvin Cook is obviously a great player, but running backs are a dime a dozen. And you have capable backups, starters possibly, with Alexander Madison and Kene Nwangu. I hope I said that right. But Dalvin Cook, man, that's such a hard problem. You know, if you were to... I'm not going to cut Dalvin Cook. I'm going to end up wanting to trade Dalvin. So if we can get a second-round pick for Dalvin Cook, that'd be amazing. If we trade pre-6-1, we'd only save... I wonder if we... Yeah, if we could trade post-6-1 for Dalvin Cook, then we'd save $8 million this year and get a second-round pick for him. Is that possible? Probably not. But if we trade pre and get a second-round pick for him, we'd save $2 million in dead cap. I'm sorry. We'd save $2 million and we'd have $9 million against the dead cap. Would that also be... Yeah. So, with Dalvin Cook, to cut, you know, time short here, we're going to trade Dalvin Cook for a second-round pick. And we're going to trade it post 6-1. $35 million. Michael Pierce, let's speed this up a little bit. So Michael Pierce, $10 million cap hit. If we cut him straight up, $6.5 million saved. He's a 30-year-old. He hasn't really been available the last 2 years for different reasons. We're not going to get into that. But Michael Pierce, is he gonna be phenomenal in the 3-4? I mean, he ran in the 3-4 defense in Baltimore, and he was awesome there. So, do you want to cut Michael Pierce? We can't get rid of Dalvin Tomlinson with his $2.5 million cap savings against us if we were to cut him. So Dalvin's going to be on the team this year, I think. We're not going to be able to just up and cut him or trade him, because it doesn't seem like there's going to be anything worth a damn, or they're not going to give us anything worth a damn. So Michael Pierce, I'm going to cut Michael Pierce for $6.5 million in savings. Right now we're sitting at $41 million in cap space. We just lost defensive tackle Michael Pierce, Anthony Barr. Now, of course, Anthony Barr right now is in a void year, so technically he doesn't have to play. But Kevin O'Connell said that he's excited for Anthony Barr. So if he's excited for Anthony Barr, that might have been a tell that they're looking to keep Anthony Barr. Who knows how Ed Donatel wants to do this, how this he wants to structure this. So I'd say, as of right now, due to the press conference, let's extend Anthony Barr for 2 years. He's 30. He plays well with Eric Kendricks. He's going to be a phenomenal piece in a restructuring of a defense. So if we can get him for around $9 to $10 million, I think last year he made $8 million. So I'd have to double check that. But let's get him for $9 million a year. So $5 million and $6 million because he's going to want to raise. If we can get that renegotiated, boom. Anthony Barr, we get him signed for $9 million a year. We still have $41 million in cap space re-signing Anthony Barr. Now, we still have quite a few free agents that we have to re-sign. So, again, there are a ton of players out there, but we need a number one corner. Patrick Peterson was a solid number one. If we can get Patrick re-signed here for 2 years at $8 million this year, $9 million next year, then boom, we have our two corners again. Xavier Woods, he's not coming back. Sheldon Richardson's probably not coming back. Nick Vigil, if we can get him at the right price, a base salary of $1.35 million, that might actually work. Let's get 2 years. Let's not get 2 years. Let's just get the 1 year. Nick Vigil re-signed. Everson Griffin won't be re-signed, unfortunately. Take care of yourself, Everson. Mackenzie Alexander, of course, I don't know if they're necessarily going to keep him. He didn't have the best year. There might be better options out there in free agency. Mason Cole might be another, 1 year renegotiation, so let's do that. D.D. Westbrook probably won't be back. Dakota Dozier, I'm looking at all you Vikings fans out there. Because I'm the GM, I'll do you a favor. We're not going to freaking re-sign Dakota Dozier. Tyler Conklin, we could re-sign him for maybe 2 years. Give him, 1.5. 1.5. Again, they can get the whole guaranteed money figured out themselves. Luke Stocker, we can, skip on that. Rashad Hill. Rashad Hill's a solid backup. And he's 30 years old, so we probably get him signed for another 2 years. Let's do 1 year for him. And he's going to want a pay increase, so let's give him that. Christopher Herndon. I cannot believe we gave up a 4th-round pick for Chris Herndon. Man, that's when you knew Rick had to go. I mean, that was like the last straw. Like, come on, man. A 4th-round pick? He didn't even do anything. I mean, you could have traded. Philly got Gardner Minshew for a 6th-round pick, I believe it was. I mean, come on now. A quarterback, a solid backup quarterback versus a 3rd-string tight end at best, and you got screwed for 4th-round pick? Man, come on. There had to be better options out there in the market that you didn't have to trade for. Either way, moving on. Wayne Gellman, probably moving on. Jordan Berry, probably moving on. Chad Beebe, fan favorite. A lot of people like Chad. We can probably extend him for 1 more year. Let's give him $1.2 million. And then Greg Joseph, probably extended for another year. He seemed to be a solid kicker for us. So $1 million, if we can get this done. No, Greg. Oh, well, I meant $1 million, but Deshaun Bauer. Deshaun Bauer. I can't believe he's already done with his contract. He's been okay. So I mean, he's 27 years old. Might be able to get him for a hometown discount. So $1.2 million a year. Let's get him shine. And then no, we are not re-signing Sean Mannion. So right now, in my current setup, players under contract, we have 66 players under contract, and we would have a total cap space of $34 million. That's with Baker Mayfield as our quarterback instead of Kirk Cousins. Now, you could say that Baker Mayfield's terrible. He had a bad year, that's for sure. He also was playing through a major injury and then had to end up getting it surgically repaired. So it sounds like Baker's done in Cleveland. If we go with Baker, I don't think there's going to be a huge drop-off as far as when it comes to quarterback play. But we'll see. I think that Baker Mayfield's mindset kind of plays a little more into Kevin O'Connell's kind of aggressive play style. Kirk Cousins is a very conservative quarterback, and I don't necessarily know if the changes that Kevin O'Connell's learned over the course of his coaching career and then everything that Kirk has done throughout the rest of his career since they've been together really kind of mesh together. Of course, Kevin's going to make the offense work through the quarterback, and he's going to do the best job he can to put Kirk in the best possible situation. But I think at the end of the day, we cannot pay Kirk Cousins the $45 million. So what's the option? Extend Kirk? That's probably not going to happen because of all the behind-the-scenes lack of people liking Kirk. It sounds like from various reports, it sounds like the front office ain't thrilled with Kirk. Kirk ain't thrilled with the Vikings. It really sounds like, I mean, nobody's really kind of committing to anybody. So we got to figure out the Kirk Cousins situation. But as you can see, it's very possible we can get underneath the cap pretty easily, to be honest with you, if we were to take care of a few of our veterans and our leaders on this team and extend out certain contracts. But the whole salary cap is a myth. I mean, there's just a lot of options that you can do to get underneath the cap. So with us being 12 million over, even with the Packers being 45 million over, they can do a few things to get under the cap, even at that high of a cap change. So if you like my opinions, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'd love to hear more comments in the section below. Be sure to check out my other videos from Kirk Cousins versus Matthew Stafford and the whole new head coach videos. I look forward to hearing from you guys and making more content for you in the future on the daily. Till next time, Skol, my brothers and sisters.